Hey YouTube, wanted to give you a quick unboxing video of this new Power Wheels F-150 Raptor I bought my son for Christmas this year. As you can see, it's a 12 volt system, goes up to 5 miles per hour, it's for ages 3 to 7, and up to 130 pounds. Looks can be a little deceiving. This box is huge. It's 52 inches tall, 30 inches deep, and 36 inches wide. I've already taken everything out of the box so I can show you what to expect. If this is a gift that you plan on giving Christmas morning, you may want to get started putting it together a week in advance. So you've got the hood here, you've got the two back tires, the seats, of course, for the interior. This, I believe, is the back, the bottom of the rear bumper. A decal sheet, that one should be fun. This is the tailgate. I've still got the protective plastic on. Instructions, nuts and bolts, screws. This is the steering wheel and charger system. And this is the steering wheel assembly steering column. And then the vehicle itself comes with the front fenders, front wheels, mirrors, and side doors, running boards, all that. This middle part is already put together in the box for you. You do need to assemble the grille and the bottom portion of the bumper. Pretty quick and easy. It took me about 5 to 10 minutes. And then you, of course, attach the bumper to the body itself. In the rear, the pickup bed comes separate. There's two screws up underneath the bed. Pretty quick and easy. So from the box to this point took me about 15 minutes, maybe. There's still a couple of things in here that you'll need to take out. I believe this is the battery that's encased in the floorboard. Of course, you've got the little microphone, the little speaker box for the radio. So I've got some decals to put on. I've got the seats to install. The steering column, I believe, is up next, so I'll tackle that here. I wanted to show in the instruction manual, here are all the pieces. Like I said, when you open the box, the body of the vehicle is mostly put together. You've got the seats, the tailgate, bed assembly, hood, steering wheel, horn cover, two rear wheels, steering column, hood, hubcaps, tailgate, battery. They're calling that thing a grille support, so that must go on the front end, and the rear bumper and charger, and also seat belts. All of that comes separate. Here's that front bumper assembly I was telling you about earlier. Not too bad. This is putting the grille and bumper assembly together, and then you have to fasten it to the vehicle. So there's screws that go in behind, and then you have to actually put the bumper on the vehicle itself, and there's a couple of tabs and screws that hold that on. Next, there's no hood on the truck, so you screw the bumper assembly on. There's a couple of screws up in the wheel well. What I did was I took my drill and put the torque on it really low. I think like 8 foot-pounds or something, so I don't strip out the plastic, and that seemed to help a lot. The next step I have is these decals and preparing the steering column. Okay, success. Steering column is in. Put the little decals on as well for the gauges and the steering wheel. Basically, when you look at it here, the column goes through the steering wheel. There's a metal dowel that goes through, and then the cover holds it all in place, and then you insert it down through the body. I will give you a quick tip. It tells you this later on in the instructions. Keep the front wheels straight. That will definitely help you get that in there. Called for the assembly of the tailgate, and I will say they do a good job keeping everything nice and tidy, putting this wrapping on there so it doesn't get damaged during shipment. And I'm also glad to see that this is one huge decal. And I'm glad that they put it on there, but there are some bubbles that I'm going to iron out. Might maybe heat it up a little bit and get it to lay flat. But overall, looks okay. Maybe they should have left that for the professionals. All right, got the tailgate put on. That was pretty simple. I did want to point out that this big bubble that I thought was in the middle is actually where the Ford symbol would go, I guess, on their other F-150 Power Wheels, but on the Raptor they put this big decal across the back. I'm not sure how that's going to hold up. And then also I wanted to let you know that there are some scratches from the factory up here, and I noticed the same thing on the headlights on the front. But I just want to show you how the it's a kid's toy. They're going to tear it up, so that's fine. But I wanted to kind of show you how this operated. You pull it up, drop it down, it just flaps down. There's nothing to hold it in place. You could actually take it back off if you wanted to pretty easily. I also wanted to give you a size of this bed back here, and of course there's the warning, don't let your kid ride in the back. Alright, this is about 10.5 inches deep. It's about 2 foot wide. Not a bad size, you know, some kids are going to have fun with that. And we've had our first accident. I'm just kidding. The instructions tell you to flip this over, as you can see. I put down some cardboard on the garage floor to keep it from getting all scratched up and banged up. There's a couple of screws that go into the bottom of the bedside to go along with the two on top to keep that in place. It also instructs you to put a cap on the end of the steering column here. That's to keep this metal-to-metal contact to a minimum. There's also a piece that I showed you earlier when we took this thing out of the box that goes here, and it's just to support this flimsy front bumper. A few screws that go here and a few in the back, so that's the next step. Alright guys, the next step in the instructions is to attach the wheels and tires to the back of the truck. In the instructions it says that the rear wheel with a 1 should match the 1 on the vehicle, and the rear wheel with 2 should match the 2 on the vehicle. I guess those are on the axles themselves, or maybe on the little electric drive to the axle. I didn't see those on the body of the vehicle or the tire. So these might be old instructions. Maybe the instructions went to print before the actual kit was made. But they all look identical to me, so I don't think you can go wrong here. Okay, the next step was to put the tires and wheels on. You slide them onto the axle spline, and you use one of these little caps that the steering column also used up front. You put a screw into it. I couldn't get my drill in here, so I actually had to use a long screwdriver, but that worked. And then you just put the center cap on like so. All right, so a couple of things here. They tell you to flip the vehicle back over, so I have, and we're also going to install the seats. I like the size of this thing. It's larger than Power Wheels were when I was a little kid, so that's kind of cool. Let me show you how the seat belts work. It's pretty ingenious. So they've got some nice embroidery here for a kid's toy. So it's Power Wheels going across on both sides. They've got these little sewn in tabs, and you insert them into the seats so they won't pull back out. So I think that's pretty cool. So the next step's going to be to install these into the car. Okay, the seats are in. That was one of the simpler, well, I mean, the whole thing's been pretty simple, but one of the simpler parts of the project. There's just 2 screws in the front, 2 screws in the back, up here in the corners. The seat is not adjustable. It does not go back and forth as far as I know. And another question that I'll probably get is, do the doors open? No, the doors do not open. But it does have these running boards that they can step on, and those are pretty dang sturdy. So I don't think the age group that this is really designed for is going to have a problem there. Alright guys, here she is in all of her glory. The very last step is to put the hood on. It's just a one-piece little hinge that goes on there. It's very, very easy to do. Don't worry about that. Overall, if I hadn't been recording this, it probably would have taken me, maybe 30 minutes to get to this point. I think the detailing is really good for a kid's toy. I like the little air intake on the hood, the running boards, the meteor tires, although they are still plastic, the seat belts, just all the little details and decals everywhere. I haven't put on the large Raptor or tailgate decals yet, but I think for the price, I mean, this is an expensive toy, but I think there's a lot of cool features, and he's going to get a lot of years of use out of this thing. So overall, pretty satisfied. We're going to slap the battery in there, get it all charged up, and I'll report back. Thanks a lot.